Imagine waking up, stepping out onto your porch with your morning coffee, and looking down to find a freshly caught, incredibly lifeless mouse right at your feet.
Oh, no.
Right, to you, it's an absolute horror scene. You're probably thinking about how fast you can sanitize the area.
Yeah.
But to your cat, that gruesome little discovery is the behavioral equivalent of like making you breakfast in bed.
Yeah, which is so funny to think about.
It totally is. Today, we are decoding the bizarre, brilliant, and honestly deeply misunderstood ways your cat is actually saying, I love you. Welcome to the deep dive. We are channeling Major, two cat-obsessed best friends, chatting over coffee energy today, and we are doing this one specifically for you, the ultimate learner.
I love it. The coffee is definitely strong today, and the subject matter is, well, quite frankly, adorable.
Highly adorable.
But beyond the cuteness, the underlying mechanics of how felines build relationships are incredibly scientifically rich. We're looking at a fascinating stack of research to get to the bottom of this.
We really are.
We have animal behavior studies from ScienceAlertandFist.org, alongside some just fantastic veterinary and behavioral insights from Hill's Pet Nutrition, PetMD, and Cats Protection.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because people always say dogs have masters and cats have staff.
Yeah, the classic joke.
Right. We've all heard it.
Yeah.
The stereotype is that you are basically just a domestic servant to a completely aloof, independent creature who couldn't care less about your emotional well-being.
Exactly.
But based on our research today, that entire narrative is a massive, culturally accepted myth, right?
It's a total myth. It is a fundamental misunderstanding of feline psychology. For decades, humans expected cats to show affection using the exact same behavioral language that dogs use.
Right, like the tail wagging.
Yeah, the tail wagging, the immediate obedience, the constant demand for attention. And when cats didn't perform those specific behaviors, we just labeled them as cold or indifferent.
Which is so unfair.
It is. The science, however, paints a completely different picture of how deeply attached they actually are to their human caregivers.
Before we get into the specific, physical ways your cat shows you love, we need to prove scientifically that they are capable of loving you in the first place.
Yes.
Which brings us to an absolutely mind-blowing study from Oregon State University, led by animal behaviorist Kristen Vitale.
This study is so good.
It's amazing. Her team took cats and put them through a psychological evaluation called the Secure Base Test.
And the context of this test is crucial for understanding the results, because the Secure Base Test was not invented for cats.
No, it wasn't.
It's a highly established, heavily scrutinized psychological evaluation normally used on human babies, and sometimes dogs.
Wow.
Yeah, they use it to measure the quality of the attachment bond. The core idea is to see if an infant or an animal uses their caregiver as a psychological anchor when they're subjected to a stressful or unfamiliar situation.
Right. Let's walk you through exactly what this looks like. Imagine you take your cat and you carry them into a brand new, completely unfamiliar room.
A scary new place.
Exactly. You stay in there with them for 2 minutes, then you leave the room, and your cat is left entirely alone in this strange space for 2 minutes.
Which feels like an eternity in cat time.
Oh, totally. Finally, there's a 2-minute reunion phase where you walk back through the door, and the researchers are watching behind the glass, specifically looking at how your cat reacts the moment you return.
Right. And the reactions broadly fall into two categories: secure attachment and insecure attachment.
Okay.
When a cat has a secure attachment, their behavior immediately shifts when you re-enter the room. They use you as a safe home base.
Their stress just drops.
Exactly. It visibly drops. They might come over, greet you, and then, feeling bolstered by your presence, they actually turn their attention outward and begin confidently exploring this strange new environment.
They feel safe again.
Yeah, they balance their time between checking in with you and investigating the room.
But then you have the cats who display insecure attachment. These cats show distinct, measurable signs of psychological stress even after you come back.
Yes, the anxiety sticks around.
They might aggressively twitch their tails, nervously lick their lips, or just completely avoid you and try to hide.
Yeah.
Or, they exhibit ambivalence by jumping directly onto your lap and just clinging there, completely frozen, refusing to move or explore at all.
Wait, is that actually love or just weird? Because if my cat clings to me, I usually assume they're just being super affectionate.
I know it looks like affection, but it's actually stress, disguised as affection.
Yeah.
They are clinging to you because they lack the underlying security to feel safe in the environment, even with you right there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, their anxiety overrides their natural curiosity. If we connect this to the bigger picture, this attachment behavior isn't just a quirky byproduct of domestication.
Right.
It represents a profound evolutionary adaptation of the offspring-caretaker bond. Attachment is a biologically relevant survival behavior in the wild.
That makes a lot of sense.
And when cats live in dependency with humans, that behavioral trait proves to be highly flexible. The vast majority of domestic cats actively use their humans as a primary source of comfort and security. That makes so much sense when you frame it as a survival mechanism. It makes me think of a young child playing a game of tag at a playground.
Oh, that's a great comparison.
Right. They run around, they explore the scary world, they test their boundaries, but every so often, they have to sprint back and physically touch home base, which is you, the parent.
Exactly.
Just touching you recharges their bravery, and then they run off to play again. You are literally your cat's home base.
And the numbers from the Oregon State University study are what officially shatter the elusive cat myth. They found that 64.3% of the kittens they tested showed secure attachment to their humans.
Which is huge.
It is. And to prove it wasn't just a juvenile phase, they tested adult cats over a year old as well.
Yeah.
The numbers remained incredibly stable. 65.8% of adult cats showed secure attachment.
That is a solid majority. But the real kicker here is how that compares to us.
Yeah, this is the best part. The secure attachment rate for human infants to their own parents is 65%.
That is wild.
The proportion of securely attached cats almost perfectly mirrors the human infant population. They are bonding with us using the exact same psychological mechanisms that our own children use.
Okay, so you are scientifically proven to be your cat's secure home base. Now we have to look at how they physically claim you as their own.
Because they definitely claim you.
Oh, they definitely do. And the answer involves a deep dive into biology, scent marking, and honestly, a surprising amount of saliva.
A lot of saliva.
Let's start with the behavior known as bunting. This is when your cat walks up and aggressively headbutts your shin or vigorously rubs their cheeks against your face.
Bunting is fascinating because it is entirely chemical. Cats have specialized concentrated scent glands located right in their cheeks, along their jawline, and at the base of their ears.
So we're just wiping their scent on us.
Exactly. When they are rubbing their head against you, they are actively depositing their unique pheromones onto your skin and clothes.
They're turning you into a giant walking billboard.
Pretty much.
It's a chemical message to any other animal in the neighborhood that says, hey, back off. This human is taken.
It is an act of territorial marking, sure. But in the domestic context, it is the most affectionate form of claiming territory. They are marking you as a core part of their family unit.
And then there's the licking. The scientific term from our sources is grooming. Oh my gosh, my cat does that too.
Oh yeah, mine too.
You will just be sitting there watching TV, and suddenly this rough, wet, incredibly intense sandpaper tongue is scraping across your forearm.
That intense sandpaper texture is due to tiny backward-facing barbs on their tongue called papillae.
Papillae.
Yeah. They are made of keratin, which is the exact same material as your fingernails.
Wow.
Evolutionarily, those barbs are designed to strip meat from the bones of their prey.
Okay, slightly terrifying.
And to pull dirt and loose hair out of their thick undercoats. But when your cat uses that heavy-duty grooming tool on your arm, it serves a profound social purpose.
It's a bonding thing.
Right. Just like with bunting, it is about creating a shared family scent. By transferring their saliva onto you, they are masking your foreign human smell and making you smell more like them.
Which designates you as a safe, trusted member of their specific social group.
Exactly.
But grooming isn't just a chore for them, right? It actually changes their brain chemistry while they do it.
It does. The physical, rhythmic act of licking causes the release of endorphins.
Like when we work out.
Right, powerful feel-good hormones directly into the cat's brain. It gives them a natural, soothing, physiological high. It is a self-calming mechanism intertwined with social bonding.
Okay, here is the practical problem, though.
Yeah.
After a few minutes of those keratin spikes scraping the exact same patch of skin on your hand, it genuinely starts to hurt.
Oh, it really does.
It feels like someone is taking a nail file to your arm. If they're doing it to bond with me, should I just push them away when it hurts?
No, pushing them away is the last thing you want to do. You must remember that cats do not interpret physical punishment or rejection the way humans do. To your cat, they are performing a vital, deeply vulnerable social bonding ritual. If you angrily shove them away, they will not understand that their tongue was too rough.
They just think you hate them.
Basically, they will only understand that their gesture of family bonding was violently rejected. This causes immediate stress and can really fracture the trust you've built.
So you have to protect your skin without breaking their little hearts. I assume redirection is the key here.
Yes, gentle distraction is highly effective. If the grooming becomes painful, slowly introduce a soft bristle brush and start grooming them back.
Make it mutual.
Right, or casually pull out a favorite toy to engage their prey drive. You are seamlessly redirecting their energy while still actively participating in a shared activity.
That's smart.
Also, you should keep an eye on their broader body language. While licking is usually affectionate, if it becomes frantic, obsessive, or is accompanied by pin-back ears and a sharply swishing tail.
Like an agitated swish.
Exactly. That might actually be a manifestation of underlying anxiety. In those cases, a vet visit is a smart precaution.
That's a great distinction to look out for. So licking releases endorphins, but there is another tactile behavior that taps into a completely different hormonal system.
Oh, my favorite one.
It goes all the way back to the first hours of their life, and it is arguably the highest compliment a cat can ever pay you. We are talking about kneading, universally known as making biscuits.
Yes. Kneading is the rhythmic, alternating pushing of their front paws against a soft surface.
Or a soft leg.
Yes. It is a behavior that begins almost immediately after birth. Tiny, blind kittens knead against their mother's stomach while nursing. The physical pressure actually helps stimulate the flow of milk from the mother. Because it is paired with nourishment, warmth, and the absolute safety of the mother, the act of kneading is deeply wired to the release of oxytocin, which we commonly call the love hormone.
But they keep doing it. My 10-year-old cat still aggressively makes biscuits on my lap every single night.
Same.
If they don't need milk anymore, why are they needing my genes?
Well, this brings us to a crucial biological concept called neoteny. Neoteny is the evolutionary retention of juvenile physical or behavioral traits into adulthood.
Okay.
When humans began domesticating animals, whether it was wolves turning into dogs or wildcats turning into house cats, we naturally selected for animals that were less aggressive and more socially dependent.
We wanted the friendly ones.
Right. By selecting for friendliness, we inadvertently selected for prolonged childhood. Domesticated cats retain kitten-like behaviors their entire lives because it helps them maintain a harmonious, dependent relationship with us.
That is wild.
What's fascinating here is how a pure survival mechanism fundamentally transforms.
Why do they immediately attack my hand with all four paws in their teeth the second I touch it?
It's an ambush.
That seems counterintuitive to trust.
Right.
Are they just setting a trap for their own amusement?
It feels like a trap, but it's actually a conflict of instincts. The belly exposure itself is an enormous display of vulnerability.
Okay.
A cat's stomach houses all their vital organs, and in the wild, exposing the belly to a potential predator is practically a death sentence. By showing it to you, they are communicating, "I trust you completely, I know you will not kill me."
Which is very sweet.
It is. However, because that area is so sensitive, touching it triggers an involuntary, hardwired predator-prey reflex.
Ah, so it's a reflex.
Yeah, their brain instantly shifts from relaxed trust to defend the vital organs. The mistake we make is applying dog logic to cats.
Right.
A dog rolling over wants a belly rub. A cat rolling over simply wants you to appreciate the visual compliment of their absolute trust. Look, but do not touch.
That completely reframes the whole interaction. What about their tails? Sometimes my cat walks toward me and her tail looks like a radio antenna sticking straight up into the air with a tiny quiver at the top.
Tail posture is a highly nuanced language. Millions of years in the making.
So for you, our listener, you have a very specific mission for today. The minute this deep dive ends, I want you to go find your cat. Give them a high-quality treat immediately.
Highly recommend.
Then sit down a few feet away, relax your face, and try initiating a slow blink. Start that conversation and see if they blink back.
It fundamentally changes the way you interact with them once you realize you possess the tools to speak their language.
It really does. But before we let you go, I want to leave you with one final, totally new thought to chew on. Think about everything we've unpacked today.
Okay.
Our cats have successfully trained us to interpret their subtle physiological cues. We buy them incredibly specific, expensive foods. We sit perfectly uncomfortably still for hours just so they can sleep on our legs. And now we are actively mimicking their facial expressions just to earn their approval.
We put in a lot of effort.
We really do.
Yeah.
So it begs a much bigger evolutionary question.